Oh, Buddy the dog likes it, but I don't likes it. We went from 70, probably 72 or 3 degrees yesterday to 21 degrees right now. And windy, super windy. Buddy the dog's loving it. He likes the cold. But we're waiting on parts for, I really want to do that New Holland, but we're waiting on parts again now. So we might piddle with the livestock trailer again since I got some more stuff. And probably it'd be easier to just pull the truck over next to it because all the stuff is inside the truck. And I guess we'll get started right after this. Oh my goodness. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. I think the last video started in the pickup too, so isn't that great for you? But now I got my other trailer full of those parts sitting right in the way, of course, because I got to where I had to unhook it before I had to have the truck for something else real quick. So, and I forgot about it, that it was hooked up, so I had to just, you know, pull the pin and drive away, and now it's sitting right in the driveway. So we'll get that taken care of though. Figure out what to do with all that stuff. I'm trying to figure out where the try not to back into either one of those trailers because they're both back here. Let's turn the heat up here while we're sitting here. See, we had some struggle bus stuff going on because when I went to buy trailer light parts, one store didn't have enough stuff. So I got a couple nice LED tail lights to start with, and I thought I'd get these because they're like a flange mount instead of that rubber, and I figured we'd just put them in and drill a few holes. And I've had mixed results with those rubber grommet ones, and the metal that this is supposed to be is kind of, I don't think it's perfectly straight, so I'm not sure that they would hold. But the first store had 2 of those, so there's a pair of those, but we can't use them because we don't have the plugs. And that was what we struggled with. I had to order them online, and then they never showed up, and then they said they were going to reorder them and they'd be here the next day, and they still haven't got here. So I guess I'll be calling them again and saying, what the heck, I have buyer's remorse on that, you know, but whatever. I got this. All of this stuff's LED, by the way. Light bar for the top, because mine has no lenses at all. And I don't think it's really effective when it's sitting like this as much as it would be like this. So we might make a bracket at some point and mount it where it's 90 degrees. I don't know. Trying to figure out where everything is here, because like I said, it took 2 stores worth to get stuff. So I have a couple clearance lights here. I got an orange one. Store had an orange one and one red one, and that's all. So that would do one side, but that's definitely not enough stuff. So we stopped at another town and got one, but for the life of me, I can't seem to find what I did with those now. So they might actually, oh, I know where they are. We took Dad's car when we went and got that stuff, so they're actually, when I stopped here to unload some stuff, I set that bag in that little escape, so they're in the front seat of that. So we have 4 of these, so we got enough clearance lights that we can do. And then the first store actually, amazingly, had exactly what I was looking for: a metal junction box and a solid blank out cover. And then I got a couple of these, which I don't know if we'll use or if I don't know, we'll just see how it plays out, but a couple of these to go in the knockouts should we need to. But basically my plan is going to be, I'm going to knock out this one here probably on the end, and it's gonna go right over the hole on the trailer, and the wires are gonna come in there, and then we'll bolt this down wherever we have room, and that'll do that. So sure, ain't no use to just sit here forever. I mean, we got to go out in the cold. That's just the way it is. Cold and wind. Miserable. Actually, if it was 21 degrees and no wind, it wouldn't be as bad, but that wind is pretty brutal, friends. Especially when you were, you know, working outside in short sleeves yesterday, 70-some degrees. So, yeah, good times. That's why I love winter. We also need to take some hay to the bovines here in a little bit. And I remembered that when I was messing with something, I moved the diesel loader tractor, and now it's parked in front of the other one and it's not plugged in. So that's gonna be a thrill to do something about that. I guess what I should do, would do, I wonder if I could, well, never mind. We'll deal with that later. I just remembered something else we're gonna have to do. I gotta figure out what I did with my gloves the last time we wore them, because it's been a while, and I could definitely use them now. I think they're in the truck here. Oh, there's gloves. Okay, what else did we get in this haul? There's another red light. Then there should be, there's another yellow light, so that takes care of that. I got a new plug because I think we're probably gonna just end up cutting that one off and putting one of those on, because that Chinesium version doesn't seem to want to play ball. And then I got a couple rolls of this, which we're gonna feed through, and I decided we're just gonna make that we're just gonna make it whatever it needs to be. What am I trying to say? Let's get in here and then we'll... I was kind of foolishly hoping that maybe this would... I was hoping that working in here would be slightly warmer, because it is kind of out of the wind. Not by much, but yeah, see, right about the time I say that, I could use the cardboard and block that off a little. Man, if a guy just had some duct tape with him, that would be a pretty effective wind barrier, but oh well, we can suffer. Actually, what'll happen is if I get too miserable, I'm just gonna quit and go inside. Well, that slowed it down a little bit, so it's not quite as much in our face. But I'm thinking, see, we knock out that end thing, and it's gonna put it right over that wad of wires. And then we can just mount this in however we gotta do it. So we need to knock out that end knockout, and we should have everything here we need to do that. So he says is he doesn't have all the stuff right here to do that. Actually, if I would hook up this trailer and turn it 90 degrees, it would probably be a lot warmer in here, but that's okay. Oh, holy cannoli, friends. All right. Now what this will require, though, is that I will have to unattach all my wiring, because right now it's temporarily pulled through. Also, I think another thing, I need to take this knockout out so that I can deal with the wires that are going to want to naturally go up through the tube that way, through this tube, and then I don't need one of those wire things in the hole. I can just, it's gonna just go straight through that up and on its happy way. So now that I put all the stuff away or dropped it to the ground, I can get that back and do another thing. That's okay though. We're okay. I'd say they're gonna quit selling these over there because they were pretty darn cheap. Like some of that stuff was like 29 cents. So just got a feeling that the electrical parts at the supply tractor store, their days are numbered. Alright. Now, I think that's going to do what we want. Okay. We're running out of hands. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with what here. I think if I was real clever about this, I could probably do one at a time here. It doesn't matter. I really don't want to leave it disabled because any time now we're going to go back and do that other deal. So, you know, but I thought we could get our box mounted. Maybe we'll get our wiring mounted. I don't know. I just really don't want to. Well, okay. That's cool too. I bet I lost that forever. That's fine. Oh, I see it. I see it. See, I was hoping I could just do this to start with. And then it'd be like never unhooking it, you see. He says as he works with the giant, obnoxious yellow gloves. Yeah. Well, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. If you say it enough times, you will believe it. Okay, let's put these through there. Now let's go to the next one. I'm a big fan of doing one operation at a time in this case, which means not just go in here and hack everything out if we want to keep it somewhat ready to roll. Why reinvent the wheel and sit here forever and try to figure that out when I can just simply take my time. Oh yes, nonsense. And then lastly, our clearance lights. Delicious. Delicious. Okay. Clearance lights. That's easy because they're all brown now. How now, brown cow? Alright. Let's put that back in there. Again, we're doing it this way because at any minute we could get frustrated and decide we're done. And if we do it this way, then all we got to do is just tighten these up the rest of the way and go. But this should do what I want to do. Now, all I got to do, see, is feed these the rest of the way in as we go. La-di-da. Oh, you know what I forgot to feed in though? This. And I kind of decided I think I'm going to use it. I think that this wire, instead of running the trailer wire with, this is the wire to the brakes that they ran, and I think it's in really good shape. So I'm probably going to use that when the time comes for brakes. So, yeah, come on. Confused at why it's struggling so much, because there, I was gonna say that doesn't make any sense, but that's what I want right there. There's a little bit of exposedness there, which probably ain't great, but No, it's gonna work fine. So what we will do now is we will drill a couple holes or something to mount this box here, and then you know, we'll bolt it through to there, and then we got our nice place to make our connections when we get to the point where we're going to do it really nicely. Right now we're probably not doing it really nicely, but I don't know, you know what I'm saying. We need to get that wire. I'm just afraid that this tube is very full of trash, and it's going to be quite the struggle bus to run new wires through. So luckily we can get to it from the end, and I figure what we're going to do is we're going to just pull it through from the end, and then we'll get it fed through that little hole there at the end. So we're not going to have this mounted up solid just yet. We'll wait to mount it solid. I mean, we can drill the holes and have it ready to go, but we're going to wait. We're going to have it where we can, what am I trying to say? We're not going to tighten it up because we're probably going to move it out of the way again so we can get the wiring fed where we want to go. See, somewhere here, yeah, there's a hole here where they've run the brake wire down through, and I'd like to, in all seriousness, just leave that because it's really a nice piece of shielded wire that we need, and then we'll just go along life's way. This side though, see, we'll have to get it pulled up out of the top. Then we'll have to run another end of it down to the light, or we could leave this wiring. You know, it looks pretty, like they really tried. They really tried. Well, they did cut a thing there, or drilled, that's probably factory actually, to get the wires down there, and those are new wires, so I'm not opposed to reusing those two wires to the tail light, brake light, since they're working. But I was going to run one that had ground all the way down here too, so we would need 3 out of 4 of that stranded wire, but I'm not sure that we have the room in the hole, because it's a little round hole, you see. Looks like 2 is about all we're going to get out of that. So what did we do over here? Over here, it looks also like they ran 2 of the wires, the brown and the yellow. They just pulled that 4 apart, and they used 2 of them on one side and 2 on another side, which is acceptable. And they're coming up there, so we could tie into it there and leave that alone, because that's newer. But then, like, I really want to tie or put new wire through here, and you know what I'm saying. I would like to feed the wire, the new wire, into the box, down there to that corner, a new piece. Then I would like to feed a wire from into the box up through this tube over to this side here, which we will have to stop here because we'll need to tie in this light. So I guess what I should do, and didn't do it, and maybe should I get another box and put one here, so somewhere, so that I can make some connections there and have it protected, because otherwise what'll happen is, and it's fine, that's the way they are when they're new, these trailers, a lot of them, but we'll need to get this wire behind this loop and sort of make our connections there, I think, and then go down along life's way, maybe. I just worried about the wire that's hanging out here, because an animal will maybe want to chew on that or cause us some issue. This would have been better if they'd have made the cut here somewhere, or this bottom tube too. I don't know how much room we got. I just don't think we're gonna get a 4-strand through there. And the only reason I want to use 4 is because then I can send ground all the way to the back of the trailer. And I've had issues before where lights and stuff didn't work. If I didn't do that, you know, because that used to be the way, you just figured that the trailer was getting its ground from the front. Well, not the case. Sometimes you'd have a lot of struggles with lights. So I found it's better to just run a ground wire all the way to the back of the trailer, and then you got something you can tie onto if you have problems, or you can bolt it to the back there and it can go, you know what I'm saying. So that's the thing. And what I'm thinking seriously about doing here is maybe starting on this side, because we have no clearance lights wired up right now. So what we would do is we will just run a piece of wire all the way from front to back, and then we can tie on there for now or whatever, but we'll have to be able to hook our clearance light to it too whenever we get to that point. And then over here we'll have 3 connections, I guess, because we'll have clearance light, we'll have the wire coming from this way we need to have up, and we'll have the wire coming from this way, and then the clearance light, and then we'll hook them together again. You know, I thought about doing one continuous run and trying to do that, but I'm just not sure that I can make that happen, really. You know, I could do one continuous run and maybe pull the brown wire off the brown and the white wire, because the clearance light actually has ground, a wire coming off of it, so that would be fine. But I don't know if I can separate those two and then tie into them but leave the rest intact all the way back. I don't think so. I think it's going to be easier to just re-splice all 4 together up here in this neighborhood, you know. But then that leaves you another place for your brake light and tail light to fail. It could have a problem up here in this connection, or it could have a problem back there in that connection. Whereas if you eliminated that here, you'd only have back there where it could be bad, or over here, or up at the truck, or in the box. You know what I'm saying? Why not make this more difficult than it has to be, you know? So, I don't suppose that's, nope, that's solid underneath. That's another dumb thing. Why didn't they? I know why they didn't, because they welded it, you know, before thinking about this. But if they'd have drilled a hole in this right here and then welded it on, you could have fed the wiring through that hole and come out over here and been good as gold. I don't know, friends. What do we want to do? Like I said, it's gonna be easy. I think that this one and that one are going to be easy. I think this one's gonna be a struggle bus, and so that comes with its own set of problems there. But I'm thinking that the crossover piece right now, I could easily do that one, because there's plenty of room in there for the wiring. I could cut it out here and I could cut it over there, and then I could still be able to tie into it if we get called away from this. You know, I could quickly reconnect it somewhere and make her go. But, you know, and then leave us enough room where we could actually, what am I trying to say? Well, we need to be able to, it'd be nice to tie onto that, like tape the new wire to the old wire and use it to pull her through. So this is going to be the one that struggles us though over here. Whatever we've done there is going to be a problem. I just have a feeling that's going to catch on something, in which case it might be better to come back here and do it, pull it, tape it to these and pull it through. But I don't know. So many decisions, and finally you need to just make one and go. So let me go grab some of that wire and decide what we're gonna do. All right, back at this. Got delayed there a little bit. The phone rang and it was the insurance place. I don't know if I told you that once or not, but our insurance company went out of business, so we had to find a alternate route, and so I finally got that taken care of, so we're good as soon as January 1st happens. I was getting worried about it because that time is here, but that's settled. So I've been trying to figure out what we're going to do here, and I think the next thing we'll do is maybe mount this up or drill the holes so we can, you know, see what's going to happen. I'm kind of wondering if this, I don't know. I just wonder if that's really doing what I want it to do. We might have to, I think it's going to go. I'm trying to decide how I'm going to bolt it on there or where it's going to go. It's just not, it's close to what I envisioned, but not exactly. And I don't want the whole thing being full of holes everywhere, so I want to try to get it. I think what my problem is, I see what my problem is. There's actually a piece of slag, like where they cut that through. And so I don't know if I can I get that off of there? Like, is it loose or is it still very solid? I have a feeling it's still very solid, and I'm not going to get that without grinding, and I'm not really equipped to do that here. That's a good way to fix your screwdriver. Oh, it doesn't really matter. It's just going to be another one of those little headaches that there's going to be a slight gap between the top and the, but that's okay. I mean, the wires are still out in the open in other places. It's just boxes. Mainly, its job is just to keep the connections secure, so that when animals are in here, they don't have their way with it. Everything is frozen. That's just nuts. It wouldn't be bad, like I've said before, if it wanted to be 20 degrees. But my goodness, stay there. Don't jump around and go back and forth from 20 to 70 to... Yeah, in theory, you think it's nice to have a break, but it's really hard on everybody and everything to be jumping around all the time. That's gonna work. I learned a new thing here a while ago, which is that I don't think I can reach this one, but my arm will not fit through the gaps of this trailer, so this trailer could actually contain me. I mean, I don't think you could get locked in here by accident, but you know what I'm saying. I went with screw heads on the outside because I thought it would look nicer, you know, than having a bunch of bolts hanging out. We're gonna struggle bus it, friends. And yeah, this box is probably gonna fill up with crap because of the top being open, but maybe we'll silicone the crap out of it or something when we're done, to plug that up so that nothing gets in there. All right. Yeah, see, my wires are still good. This brake wire, we're just gonna leave it. We're gonna try to use it whenever we wire up our brakes. We need to check the other end and make sure that the end that's outside is good. Otherwise, we might need to pull a little bit more through before we cut it off. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Now, I think we're going to work on this leg here. So let's, I think this is this the one or not? I think we'll just cut it here, and then I mean, we're gonna be redoing it anyway, so we'll cut it, and then we'll pull it through. It would be super nice to see what we did. Is this the one? Yep. Okay, there's part of it demounted. Now we've got a roll, which we're gonna try to get. I'm gonna try to get this to the other side through this tube. I hope. Got to decide how we're gonna do that. All right, we're gonna try to tape it to this. We didn't really leave enough, I guess. We should have probably pulled it out of the box. How this is gonna go. Let's lay it like this. Let's get our tape out of our pocket. We're struggling. What else is new? Come on. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. That's really not enough. It's going to pull off of there. Yep. Okay, well that didn't work. Let's try. We could go from the other way, potentially. Or we could fold this back, thus making it very difficult to pull through the hole. I don't think this is a good idea, but let's see what happens. All we can do is screw it up, you know? You watch that. I'm going to try to do both at once. I'm going to try to pull with one hand and feed with the other hand, so we don't have any unnecessary pressure on anything. It feels like this might actually go. Oh yeah. Okay, well, now we got a wad of trash coming out. There. It cleaned that out pretty good. All right. So what I think is going to happen with this is it's going to just get tucked immediately back here like this somehow, or maybe go through the loop, because we're going to make our connections. They're going to get stored back here so that they're protected, because there's a hole right there. I don't really want it sticking out here. I'm going to try to get that other wire pulled up through there, and we'll do whatever we got to do right here. I mean, and see, technically, which wire am I going to be using? I am going to be using the green wire. I was going to say, if it was the yellow wire, then it wouldn't matter if it was. I would have rather had it where it wasn't rubbing as much. That actually might work pretty good. So there's only a little bit exposed, you know? And then the part that's exposed is And the part that's really rubbing hard is the ground. But that would be enough there to work with. Now, we'll deal with this here. We want to try to get this, of course, there is kind of a hole on the bottom of that, but it's not big enough to do anything with. We want to get that over and into that box somehow. Something's coming down the road. What's that? Gotta see. A combine. A big deer combine. Sure. Okay. I really like... I wonder if I could drill at an angle and get that. This one's got a hole in there partially. If I could get that enlarged, I could get the... Let's see what happens here. I think it worked, but this is the trick drill. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That just shattered like glass. Okay, well, let's take a look and see what our handiwork did. That was an old drill bit, so it's not like it's a it's not like it's a terrible loss. I think it worked. Let's be generous with our amount that we're going to leave sticking out here so that we don't cut ourselves short. Let's just see if that will feed through that hole I just made. Because if it would, and I think it will, we might do this on the other side too. Of course with a new bit, because we just ruined that one, you know. You can do almost anything with almost anything if you're used to doing everything with nothing. There's a quote about that. But anywho, what I'm gonna try to see if I can do, now I have to take this back loose again to make it happen, but I want to try to get that wire down through into the box. And then in a minute we'll try to feed one up from the box and get to the back. There's just a lot of, when you're doing something that's not been done that way, there's a lot of test fitting and a lot of taking it loose and deciding and a lot of, you know, just a lot of work you got to do. I'm sticking my hand out in the cold. It's like being in a freezer. Come on. That is crazy how cold it is. Okay. I think we're going to have to pull that way down out of the way. We're going to have to do what? I think we're going to need a bigger hole. That's what she said, no? Oh, that was a good drill bit that I just destroyed, wasn't it? Well, maybe not. Alright. We're going to try to go right here. This battery's gonna quit on us too now. Right when we need it the most. That's fine. I charged one up I charged one up, but then I didn't bring it out here. Ooh. God dang it. Oh, man. How are we doing? Well, we quite possibly made a big mess. No, I think we're fine. It's just gonna... Don't get into my wiring. I don't care about the old wiring. I care about the nice wiring. If at first you don't succeed, keep going. You'll get it screwed up. Don't worry. It's gonna work. It's just, yeah. Now I need to find my screwdriver back. Where'd it go? I should have done that a while ago. If I'd have done that a while ago, I bet you I could have got this better. But I didn't. Yeah, really, you couldn't get it much better than it was. Maybe a little, but that's good enough. Jeez, it's cold though. You stick your hand outside where that wind hits it, and it's like the freezer. I mean, that's nuts. That wind going through there, man. All right, that better not have pulled in. Okay, this is what we wanted. Believe it or not. It may not look like it, but it is. We got enough room now that it's gonna go. So when this is up in there, it's gonna do what I want. It's just a matter of logistics here. Getting everybody on the same page. See, that leaves room for that to go in there. There's room for there's room. That's the moral of the story is there's room. And that's what we wanted. Because we don't have, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Okay, believe it or not, progress is being made. It maybe doesn't look like it. I got a hole drilled up into that tube. So now on this side, I want to try to get, I don't know what I want to try to get. This is going to cause me some grief. I'm going to have to ultimately just go ahead and pull this out of there. This is not what I expected to find here either, so that's not good. But what I'm saying is, I'm gonna do it. Let's get rid of this, and I'm going to let's get rid of this and pull that out of the way so it doesn't get destroyed. But I want to try to make this hole a little bit bigger. Which is not a good thing, but anyway, if I do that, I'll be able to feed this wire up through here, no problem. But you have to be out of the way because there's not enough room here. And this is not something that I suggest doing. This drill likes to slam your hand into stuff. I don't know, maybe I need to take this down to the torch and blow a hole in it. Just gotta cut it to where it was square Then I could feed them both up through there. I think that's what I'm gonna do. This should go, let's test that theory. This should go down through there. No problem now. Let's make sure. I won't go with this huge wad of stuff, but come on. Come on. Yeah, see, I should have left that a little bit longer, I think. Because I don't think I got any extra on the other end. I might, but I will. But we'll get that rolled in there and pulled up through. You know, maybe I want to put my hole there for that. And just go in a different spot. That might be the thing to do. And then we can make this happen. It's gonna happen. And it's working. It's just, it's slow because it's miserably cold. Let's try this. Maybe I can use that ring as a, that's not right. All right, don't look at what just happened. I'm in the mode of just making things happen. I don't care how it looks. I don't care if we're doing it inappropriate, but I just want it over with. That's gonna be dandy. And I can tie into there. I think though, what I'm gonna do, maybe it's too late to do that now. It'd be great if I could get that pulled back out of there. Jeez! Let's see here, come here, come here. Come here, play ball. Come on. I've got something cool to show you. Now, I want to tape up along this, like tape this up so that that's protected against the sharp edge of what I might have just done. I mean, I don't think that's going to wear through, but part of my brain thinks that maybe a little added. See, I don't want to keep doing this again and again and again. I don't want to have to keep fixing the same stuff. Nothing pushes my buttons more than having something fixed and then immediately having to go back and fix it again. You know? So if I can just wrap this up a little bit with some insurance tape, a nice thick wad of stuff, then in theory, it ought to last me a little bit. Now, let's go. Yes. Yes. Okay, I guess it's done now because it it demounted my pull tape. But that's enough there that we can wad that up and get it. We got the other side. The only bad thing that happened was during that process we lost our wire to go back. So the good news is a quick preliminary look. I disconnected it at the back and I think it will go through there very easily. So what I think I'm gonna do is tape it to what's sticking out the back and try to push it till my other end of wire comes out the end, and then I can pull all I want. And then we're gonna not reinvent the wheel here. This is nicer wire here going down to the tail light that somebody just put in. We'll just tie into it instead of reinventing the wheel. We're gonna try to, that stays. This here is gonna get some taping to our new piece that we're gonna kind of force through. I mean, let's see if we can make this happen. Let's get it started first. And then, oh, the tape's getting too cold. I heated it up a while ago in the truck so that it stayed nice, and now it's starting to, when it gets cold, it doesn't participate. Electrical tape in the wintertime does not like to play. Alright, come on, baby. Okay. Now, let's see if we can. Oh, we're foiled already. We're foiled already. This isn't gonna work. That's not gonna work. Well, dang. I thought we had something. How nice it was acting. I thought we really had something. Let's go see if we can somehow by miracle grab it up here somewhere. I bet it's probably about right there. It wouldn't take much. If I could just get it shoved through enough, we could grab it. Otherwise, we're gonna have to get our wire pullers and go, but we'll see. Oh yeah, I think we're gonna get it, friends. It just took a little bit of jiggle and a little bit of wiggle, but it's almost to come out there and then it'll be set. I mean, I can feel it. I can feel it with the tip of my finger. So if it would just participate just a little more, we'd be in business. And there's just not enough where I can grab it with anything. There we go. Oh, sweet. Did I get it? That's why it didn't want to come. It had a butt connector wedged on it. Oh, we got this licked, friends. I gotta go back to the back. Man, it works for a little bit and then it binds up. So alright, come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Alright, hey. We're gonna make it. Now, we're going to cut this off and we're going to feed it up through that other hole, which I think we can do if we're just having our wits about us. I got the flashlight in the truck. I should have brought that because if nothing else for you, it would be a lot handier to see what's actually happening here. And we might have to make a second pull tape to get the first pull tape to start where we want. Or we could use this. Come here. There we go. There we go. Yeah, this is not ideal. Oh, I know what we could do. Why don't we pull it back? Let's pull it back. Pull it back to where that, yeah, see now I can come up this way. Come here. Come here, baby doll. Come here. Come here. We actually need to go, there we go. Look at that. We got us some new wiring. All where it needs to be. Now we just need to make our connections. It'd be nice if we could find the end of our tape, but I think our tape has left the chat here. It might be easier to just cut it loose, but that's kind of foolish to waste that wire if I don't have to. Oh, that should be the end of it right there. Come on. I'm happy with what we have accomplished, even though we're ultimately going to end up with the scenario that I didn't want tonight, which is leaving it disabled. But the problem is, I am freezing cold. Like I don't think I can stand this much longer out here, and I don't have to. This is all for foolishness sake. There's no, I mean, we don't have to do this project. This is something that needs to be done at some point, But it doesn't need to be done at the sake of getting sick or being miserable. This is mainly for you, the viewer, to get some content. And something like this is fairly easy content to make that doesn't require a lot of setup, or you know what I'm saying. So it gives us a chance for you to visit and hear my beautiful voice, but you know what I'm saying. So we're gonna do that right there. Actually, we're probably gonna have to pull back up. Every time I drop something, more paint falls off the trailer, so I don't have to think about that. But I like this a lot better, because this is going to be a lot more manageable to deal with. You know, some of these are going to get disconnected right back to it, and some of them are going to get... Actually, what I should do is go to town and get some of those. You can get, like, it's a half of a butt connector, but it's sealed on the top, so you could just crimp two together. And I think that would be the more effective method here, because I need the brown wire and the white wire to connect in with this whenever I get the new one put on there. But other than that, the rest of them just need to be connected to send power to the back. Anyway, what a shocker, the GoPro's out of battery. But I think we're going to call this one here, because I got to have a break from this, and I need to get some more supplies. I'll get some better things like what I was thinking there, and we can do that connection, and we'll put the clearance lights on this side next time, because that'll finish that connection, that'll finish this connection, and that whole side will be done. And then that leaves us over here where we need to ultimately... we'll be able to make our one connection permanent to our tail light / brake light, but then we will have to wait to tie in other things to the ground and the tail lights, the brown wire over here. And we got to get our box finally mounted, but we also have to pull our new wiring through there, and that could prove to be a struggle bus of sadness too. I don't know. But my goal is, if we can do this just like what we did, see, friends, we'll go from this hole in this box to back there. That'll be set up, and then we're just going to run a little wire jumper from inside the box up to this tail light, and we'll make our connections in the box. And then everything on this side will be just like this, except have a cover on it, and you won't see any wires out in the open. This side, you'll only have wires. We'll tape them back behind this loop or something, so they won't really be exposed. And I think that's going to work good for us for longevity and not having animals destroy stuff. But it's coming along. We're going to have all new wiring then, and then that's going to be a good thing. I mean, it needs good wiring, because if you reuse old wiring, like that was working, but it was starting to rub through back there, and it was going to be a constant battle from here on out. It would never get any better. It will only get worse. But now if we start out with all new wiring for the most part, I think we're really gonna have a chance that this is gonna go for a while. So anywho, that's what we're gonna do. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. Leave a comment and tell me how dumb you think I am. Or, if by some slim chance you liked it, say that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.